listening to With Past Century Polymath, and today we've got a great show lined up. We've got to discuss about time and the dynamics of time, different dynamics of time, and different units of time. And we hope you enjoy yourself as we go through this. So, we have to begin at one point, and every point, the best point to start is defining time. What is time? And we get time means generally is a measure. It's the measure of progress. It's a measure of events that happen from one point to another. And if you remember from physics, we have a lot of in physics we say that time is equals to distance divided by speed. So, and therefore that would mean that distance equals speed times time. So when the distance is longer, it takes more time to cover. And so that tells you that time is like a distance. It's from one point to another, just like distance is from one point to another. So let's just first start off from Merriam-Webster, and perhaps she'll tell us what time is. So they define time as the thing that is measured as seconds, minutes, hours, days, years. And then another definition is a particular minute or hour shown by a clock, the time in a particular area or part of the world. Then the full definition is given is the measured or measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists or continues. So that's a duration. And then B is a non-spatial continuum that is measured in terms of events which succeed one another from past through present to future. So basically time just happens to be a period, a measurement of events. And why we wanted to discuss about time, there's so many issues to talk about time, but we wanted to say that we have reached a point whereby, because we have computers, and computers help us to calculate. They also help us to calculate time. And with being in the information technology age we're in, time has also been revolutionized. Not only in the past, it was only human beings who used to calculate time using the planets and using the heavenly bodies like the sun, like the moon, and they would make markings on trees. But today we do not need, or we've supplemented those bodies with clocks and watches, and most importantly the computer. Because if you notice, every computer has a time, has a clock, has a timer. And a computer includes your mobile phone. It is also a computer. So that being said, it is possible for us to calculate time, and he who calculates time, is able to know the future, what can happen in the future. And that's what we want to focus on. We want to look at time in the futuristic sense. And we want to take, for example, first of all, let's break down time. The first definition we read out was saying the thing that is measured as seconds, minutes, hours, days, and years. So we want to just go through a tabulation of time according to this definition from Merriam-Webster. And 1 second is a unit of time. 1 second is a unit of time. And 60 seconds make up 1 minute. And 1 minute makes up 1 minute makes up 60 seconds, as I've said. And that would mean that 1 minute and 40 seconds make up 100 seconds, because 60 plus 40 makes up 100. And then we go on to the hours, whereby we'll have 1 hour makes up 60 minutes. And then what you have is 24 hours make up 1 day. And then what you have is 24 times 7, or what you have as 7 days in a week, make up 1 week. So that would mean 24 times 7, that gives us 168 hours make up 1 week. And then it goes on and on and on like that. So we are tabulating this time to show you that you can measure even 100 years to its hour, and 100 years to its second, and 1,000 years to seconds. So let's now put it out properly. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. 1 hour equals 3,600 seconds. 1 day equals 86,400 seconds. And 30 days equals to 2,592,000 seconds. That's about 2.5 million seconds. So 1 month is approximately 2.5 million seconds. You see how time is tabulated. Now, why is this important for us? This is important because we can actually predict what people will do in certain time limits, and this is why it's very important for us to have time limits, because a time limit puts a stop to the measurement, because we can't, so long as this time has been began being measured, that time is equivalent to eternity, because there is no limit to eternity. Eternity is limitless time. It's time with no end nor beginning. But we as human beings, and what makes us very special from the other animals is that we have created a system to calculate time. And it's not that animals also are not timed creatures, because they are. Gestation periods exist in practically all animals, and there are cycles, and all of these cycles can boil down to time, because time is a measure of events. Time is a measure of actions. Time is a measure of processes. So we measure these processes, how long they take. Just like we've said, it's like a distance. How long does it take for you to reach this place? So meaning, just like it takes 10 kilometers to get to this place, it means, and those 10 kilometers can be converted to time. So time is distance, and this is why also in the planetary science we discuss of the distance between Earth and a certain planet being light years away, because the light years away is referring to the speed of light. And as we have said, distance equals speed times time. So that tells you that there's a very big correlation between distance and time. there's a relationship. And so time limits are very important. And like, let's take for example, in our modern day world, president, like now we have the president of the United States of America, President Trump. They have this 100 days, which is coming to an end very soon. And of course, it's to calculate how much he's able to do in those 100 days. Well, let's go by our calculation that if 2.5 million seconds make up a month, so 3 months, roughly 3 months, which is about 100 days, that's about 7.5 million seconds. So roughly around 8 million seconds, you could say Trump has been in office. So you see, that is that's how we are trying to do the calculation. And now what we're trying to say is that, and then if we tabulate the same time of 100 days into weeks, you'll have to divide 100 days by 7, and that gives you roughly 14 weeks. So Trump has been in office for 14 weeks. Now, in those 14 weeks, how many things has he done? Then now that's when you go by week to understand how much work he has done, or how much legislations he has approved, or how many bills he has signed, and blah blah blah. So now if we take this the stance of weeks, and that in every week he passes like maybe, he signs like 10 bills, and we've said that 100 days divided by 7 is 14 weeks. So 14 times 10 is 140. He would have signed 140 bills. Now, that is just saying, we're just giving an approximation. It's not that he signed those bills. But what we're trying to say is that there's a time limit, because 100 days is a time limit. It will come to an end. When you hit 100 days, that's the end of 14 weeks. That's the end of that time capsule. The time is finished. It has come to an end. And therefore, you can now predict that if within 100 days he could do this and this, how many laws or how many bills can he sign with the remaining time he's in office. Now, let's multiply 4 times 52, because a year makes 52 weeks, and 52 weeks, that gives you 52 minus a leap year, because a leap year has 366 days. So we take 4 years, like you're in office for 4 years, so that means you will have 208 weeks in office. So one presidential term being 4 years means that, number one, your term in office is 208 weeks, and it's not 220 or 2000 weeks. It is only 208 weeks in office. So what does that mean? That Trump has 208 weeks to do what he's got to do in his first term. And so on those 208 weeks, if he was passing 10 bills every week, for example, we're just giving an example, that would mean he would have passed 2080 bills, or signed rather, because his job is mostly signing the law. 2080 bills, and that's a lot of laws you have out there. So meaning you can actually predict how much work he can do within 4 years because there's a time limit. So that's the advantage, the benefit of having limits to time, because when you have limits to time, you can now apportion your energy. You can apportion efforts, you can apportion projects, you can apportion money to those time limits. And that's the beauty of limiting time. And so those are just a simple, we just were our musings, thinking about time and seeing how, that one day is equals to 86,400 seconds, and then the 1 month is 2.5, approximately 2.5 million seconds. So that tells you that we can boil down to a year, we can boil down to a decade, we can boil down to a century and a millennium. And if you're being paid hourly, you can also know how much you're going to get from your work just by multiplying by the hours. Because if 24 hours make one day, so what about 1 month? How many hours make up a month? So a month is made up of 720 hours. So you see, there you have it. You have 720 hours. So if you are earning, like, let's say $10 per hour every day, and in those days, let's say you only work for 10 hours, so in a day you have $100, and then after having those $100, you have the approximately 24 days you're working, because we've removed like maybe 4 days of some of the weekends you don't work, and that gives you like roughly 2,400 dollars in a month. And so that's, if I'm right, let's do the mathematics right. So we've said $10 times 10 hours, that is $100 in a day. And a day, there are how many days in a month? We do 24 times, so you get the drift. It's basically, you'll have to multiply every day carries 10 hours, and every day carries $100, and so 2,400. So that's how much you'd earn in a month. And that's the beauty of time limits, because you can now calculate and boil down to apportioning your budget and your time allocation. So those are just my thoughts on time, philosophizing on time. And I see that the importance of time is limiting it. When you can limit time, you can plan for it. You can plan for the future. You can know what to do when this time comes. So enjoy yourself. Let's do the math. Let's keep on playing with the numbers. Let's keep on numbering our days. There's a verse that says that you gotta number your days, and you need to learn how to number your days. And if it's to number your days, you need to know how to number your minutes, and number your hours, and number your seconds, and number your years, and you'll have numbered time. Numbering time, remember, is limiting time. It's putting time in a capsule so that you can plan and put your things in order. So have a good day. Let's keep on going on, and remember, knowledge is power. Go and get it.